Fear of the unknown. It has haunted mankind since our very beginning. A survival instinct that has spanned time and culture, affecting every human without discrimination. We are afraid of what we do not know, and that fear keeps us safe because the unknown may hurt us. Most choose to ignore the reminders of this fear and focus on the lighter side of things, like the beauty of nature, obsessed with being happy and safe. However, there have always been those who reject the bliss of an idealistically beautiful world and call attention to the world of the unknown, reminding us that there are still things out there that we need to fear. Probably the most compelling example of this is the motif of the forest in the work of the European dark romanticists and modern dark indie media, such as the television series Over the Garden Wall. The forest provides an interesting duality of beauty and the unsettling. Comprised of trees and plants and life, the forest is an inherently beautiful and inspiring place. In fact, for traditional 19th century romantics, forests were places of spiritual healing, contemplation, and refuge. Why then do they figure as a setting in so many scary stories, or as a daunting obstacle in others? The most obvious answer to this is that it is almost impossible to know what waits for you inside. When you enter the forest, you enter a world of unknowns. The cover of trees creates a dark environment that provides a hiding place for things that may be out to harm you, be that an animal or something more sinister. The repetitiveness of the many trees and the vastness of the forest also makes it extremely easy to become lost with no way of knowing the right path. Keeping this in mind, it is not difficult to understand the unsettling feeling that comes from viewing a dark forest. This is why artists trying to inspire fear or disquiet in their audience employ it so often and with such success. The dark romantics of the European Romantic movement are excellent examples of the power a forest can have when setting an uneasy mood. While transcendentalism focused on the beauty and spiritual power of nature, dark romanticism focused on the Gothic and the grotesque. This movement concerned itself with the darker side of nature. It reminded people that for every light there's a shadow, and for every optimistic view of nature, there's something ominous and unsettling that nature represents and hides. Because of this, forests feature prominently in the work of those romantics trying to create a mysterious and creepy environment. Caspar David Friedrich, a German painter and one of the most well-known of the Romantic period, painted many scenes showcasing the sublimity of nature and often used gnarled trees and dark environments to achieve this. In his painting, The Abbey in the Oak Wood, Friedrich's use of barren, towering trees enhances the feeling of ruin and decay that comes from the graveyard that lies beneath them. These are not the green trees that sway in the breeze of a meadow and that lift the transcendentalist spirit. These are symbols of darkness, of death, and the unknown that brings with it. Der Erlkönig, a piece composed by the German romantic Franz Schubert and based on a poem written by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, also uses the scenery of the woods to provide a believable setting in which sinister beings may lurk. The lyrics describe a young boy and his father riding through the dark woods at night, and the boy's fear of what he thinks is the Erlkönig, or Elf King, that he sees in the trees coming for him. The father insists that it is only the sounds of the forest around them, maintaining the idea that nature is not sinister and that there is nothing evil that it hides. However, in the end, the Elf King steals the boy's soul, and he dies in his father's arms. The forest in this piece is essential in creating an environment in which these events may take place. Since the forest represents a world of the unknown, anything is possible, and it is easy to believe that dark, evil forces dwell there. The same ideas can be observed within the indie television miniseries that aired in November of 2014, Over the Garden Wall. The series revolves around two brothers lost in the woods, trying to find their way home. As they travel through these woods, they are made aware that the place is called the Unknown, and that they should not travel through it at night because there is an evil being, known as the Beast, that lurks there. The symbolism of nature as being dangerous and haunting is obvious here. The beast who steals souls is made of trees and ensnares his victims by making them so lost in the forest, or the unknown, that they give up hope. The creators of this show emphasize the duality of nature and that it may be beautiful and magical, but that nature, specifically the forest, is still a place of unknowns, a place that inspires fear and gives refuge to malevolent forces. Although it may seem nicer to dwell on the pleasant, safe aspects of nature, the dark romantics of the 19th century and several indie artists and writers in contemporary times remind us that we need to remember the other side of nature. While nature can be a place of healing, to ignore its darker sides could lead to misfortune. There's importance in acknowledging and respecting the unknowns that scare us, that are unsafe, because ignoring them could lead to something even more dangerous.